Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spot Country with the weekly comic book roundup. We've already covered this week's Marvel books. Now it's time to move on to this week's DC titles. Kicking things off with Dark Knight's Death Metal: Rise of the New God. Where we left off, the Batman Who Laughs, having turned into the Darkest Night, revealed that he modified the Mobius chair so that it would redirect crisis energy to him. And it was set, as the Flashes were unaware of this, they tried to redirect crisis energy from being sent to Perpetua's throne. However, and to the Mobius chair, not knowing that it was then it was supposed to then transfer the power to the Darkest Night. So we begin focusing on the wreckage of the Mobius chair, kind of going into its history a bit. For untold millennia, the new god Metron sat upon the Mobius chair, passive observer of the grand story of creation. The chair gifted him with near omniscient sight and understanding, a powerful cosmic awareness that he bore alone and guarded fiercely. Metron believed the chair was the key to unlocking the ultimate mysteries of the Source, the great energy of creation that lay beyond the barrier at the end of his universe and lived in all things. The power from beyond whose unseen hands had created the multiverse. Metron died with the mystery still burning in his mind, unanswered, the great story unfinished, and now his chair sits, tampered with and broken. Its power harnessed by a nightmare set on ending that grand story once and for all. But apparently, the Darkest Knight's ascension to godhood is being felt throughout the multiverse. Even the Bleed, the Sphere of the Gods, at the end of time, where Rip Hunter watches with other time travelers, everywhere. And he now is as powerful as Perpetua. And he tells her that there's something he wants her to know before he kills her. Every time he had to praise her name, bow to her, every lie he had to tell her to bend her to his will, hurt him. And he was never going to be satisfied playing second fiddle to her. She explains that she's older than this multiverse and he's nothing but a nightmare from the dark, and he promptly tells her that yes, he's her nightmare. He's where her story ends. And they begin their battle. Elsewhere, unseen by the two combatants, an omniversal agent arrives. This agent has been watching. He sees the Darkest Night and Perpetua fighting and realizes that he must be hasty with his with his task. First, he arrives in Themyscira, the Hellscape. Basically insults the Joker in a rather meaningful manner before finding his true quarry, the Psycho Pirate. We learn that he is the chronicler of multiverses. Well, this new arrival, not the Psycho Pirate. And while everyone remembers echoes of what has come before, Psycho Pirate remembers all the crises that have come before, and how things were before the crises. And so he passes along his information about the multiverse. Psycho Pirate tries to use his power, his mask, to manipulate the Chronicler, but he explains he's incapable of feeling for the dead. He then finds the Vril docks and the remains of Brainiac's ship. Gets all of their information. Gets the information they have. Vril docks is constantly trying to find a way out, find a way to escape this multiverse. The Chronicler is confused though. There's so much innate power in this multiverse. How could it be allowed to get corrupted to the point of destruction? This place of heroes and villains, of cosmic fairy tales that should go on forever. Though Dox promptly tells him that he should the Chronicler should try living it before he gets so precious. Those cosmic fairy tales tend to destabilize entire galaxies. But it turns out but yes, he requires more, and so once again he leaves, arriving on the moon, where he finds the skull of Metron and resurrects him. Basically, just in need of Metron's knowledge. This is a quick bit of catch up. Shows him what's going on in all of space. The Chronicler wants Metron to help him understand. And so Metron tries to tell him these things. And that if someone at least remembers the stories of this multiverse, then it will never die. It cannot truly die. And that apparently the Chronicler's he's kind of wanted to do something he's really not supposed to do, which is interfere. It's also stated that that's something that Metron had done a few times, usually justifying it to himself. And that portion of the story ends with him wondering if that's what he should do or not. Meanwhile, in the bleed on the carrier, John Stewart is unsure of what to do. Concerning what's going on. You just crews gather the lanterns, and then he's got a plan. Unified will. Their combined power could break through the barrier and get them back to Earth Zero. Guy, however, thinks that John's compensating for what happened to him back on Earth 3. But John retorts by saying that he thinks what Guy's problem is that he's afraid he's going to be the weak link in the plan. And so he asks, are you the weak link? And Guy says, never in your life. Lead the way, hero. And so they do. Hal, as the pilot, pilots them through out of the bleed, right into the face of the darkest night. And they come to realize they're too late, but then John remembers that no, they've got the passengers. And he offers the passengers Green Lantern. Basically, I'm guessing using the deputy mechanic of the rings to deputize all their passengers. Among them being Bombshell Batwoman, Superman of the New 52 Earth 2. Looks like we got Red Rain Batman, Tangent Green Lantern, Uncle Sam, Captain Carrot. There's a modified version of Etrigan in there. A couple Wonder Womans. An interesting mix of characters. But that is where the issue ends. Which brings us to Legion of Superheroes number 10. Where we left off with the Legion. With the trial of the Legion, they were found not guilty. General Krob of Rumbor was found guilty of his various crimes and arrested. Oh, and Saturn Girl and Superboy kissed. So our catch up from our catch up page is this time done by the Karate Kid, going over, he talks about who he is, and he explains that martial arts and music are the purest forms of galactic cultural connection. And though he's a master of every martial arts being practiced across the galaxy, karate seems to really excite most of his teammates, and that's fine. So, on planet Gotham, Superboy and Saturn Girl are investigating, waiting on some hearings, and turns out on Titan, people don't show physical affection. They live in their mind. And Saturn Girl shows Superman the inside of her mind. And he says that it's so clean. She says it's really not. It's actually not. And that's a point of contention with her parents. And he says it's cleaner than his head, which she admits is very true. And he also asks that she not show him the inside of his head. However, food has arrived, and their onion rings look a little different than John's expecting. Then the commissioner of New Gotham's police shows up, or of Planet Gotham's police shows up to talk about Mordru, who has escaped. On Oa, the Gold Lantern, Block, and Brainiac have brought General Krob, the General Na of Rimbor, to the Elders of Oa. He's sentenced for his crimes, and the Gold Lantern then asks about the Great Darkness, as does Brainiac, and the Guardians explode the what was it? The Elders of Oa explain that they're being cagey with their knowledge, with what knowledge they have on the Great Darkness, because they're not sure if the Legion saves them from the Great Darkness, or is the cause of it. On New Krypton, a handful of Legionnaires, including Karate Kid and Wildfire, are trying to figure out why Mon-El quit. They run into some other Kryptonians, however, who including Mon-El's great grandfather, and as they're looking for, and yeah, so maybe Mon-El can help find Mon-El. On Rimbor, Ultra Boy is basically trying to talk sense into his people, and it's not exactly working. On Earth, Brainiac and Lighting Lass have a bit of a heart-to-heart while Brainiac is looking over the original Age of Heroes. Some information on the original Age of Heroes. Information that she's also gone over, but kind of just barely is doing more just doing her homework. And part of his brain just basically telling Lighting Lass that, you're doing fine. We don't necessarily want you to be a diplomat. We don't, or we want you to be you. But he also does tell her a bit about what's going on with the Gold Lantern, and he does say that he would be interested in hearing her perspective on the Gold Lantern situation. Back on planet Gotham, they get Superboy and Saturn Girl are talking with the police commissioners some more. And he disappeared from his cell, left an energy signature, which they didn't recognize, but they were able to find it elsewhere on other planets, other nearby planets, but they still have no idea where he's at. So John Kent Superboy gets the idea to call up Dr. Fate. And he manages to figure out which planet Mordru's on, Xanthu, and explain that the Legion needs to get there now. Back on Rimbor, Ultra Boy has been named the new ruler of the planet. And it's kind of brought up, who say you can't be both ruler of Rimbor and leader of the Legion? With Lighting Lad even saying, is that really written somewhere? Back on New Krypton. First off, we learned the identity of Mon-El's great-grandfather, Zod. And we learned that Mon-El's got 3 daughters, actually. Laraz, Connor, and Lane. Wildfire asks why Mon-El ran off from the Legion. He explains he didn't. He quit. He gets, caught up on recent events. Like, the Legion's been cleared, Krabs and Owen custody. And so he then asks if John Kent is still on the Legion. Still in this time period. And like, yeah. And so, Mon-El just flies off. On Xanthu, Mordru has arrived looking for an ally, explaining that John Kent, Superboy, is in the present, and he's apparently the person he's talking to is Rogol Zar, the enemy of all Kryptonians, and that is where the issue ends. Which brings us to our final book of the week. Also the final book in a mini-series we've been following now for a couple months. Batman, The Three Jokers, Book 3. Where we left off, while Red Hood had killed one of the Jokers, the other 2 did kidnap him and let him in on their plan. They're trying to find someone to be the new perfect Joker. The ones that are left being the criminal and the comedian. However, there's also a batch of photos with others that have been Jokerized. The dentist, the serial killer, the drifter, the city planner, the artist, the actor, the fisherman, the inventor, the chemist, the talk show host, the cult leader, the stalker, the surgeon, the coroner, the fighter, the interrogator, the felon, the painter, the zookeeper, the judge, the babysitter, so on and so forth. Apparently, these other people have been trying to turn into Joker. Barbara, Jason, and Bruce are still going over everything, and Jason once again says that there are only 2 Jokers left now, not 3. And when he sets it, and Jason adds that when he gets the other 2 in his sights, there'll be none, since Batman's too weak to do it. And Batman goes off on him. Basically, you think I haven't wanted to kill the Joker? Everything he did to Barbara, to you, and it does seem kind of hollow with the fact that yeah, okay, you wanted to, but you didn't. They continue to argue, and then Batman even going on to add that Jason not only does not understand, but he never understood. So they get back to working on everything together. The criminal seems to be more like the first encounters that Batman had with the Joker. The clown embraced a lethal campiness like a children's show host, and the comedian, something underneath the smile, a sadistic streak stronger than the others. But they state that they try to figure out if maybe Batman knows Joker's real name. And he says no. Explaining that if he did know Joker's real name, he would have told them. However, something's happened. Joe Chill has been kidnapped from Blackgate. While investigating Chill's cell, Batman finds a series of letters written out to Bruce Wayne. Outside Blackgate, Barbara and Jason, Batgirl and Red Hood have a chat. And Red Hood apologizes for what he did, and says that he'll never do anything like that again. Barbara tells him that she hopes not, and that if she does, she'll unmask if she has to. But apparently, Joe Chill has been full of regret for years, well before he got sick. As initially Batman does assume, so he got sick and got remorseful. And it's like, no. He wrote those long before he fell ill. But usually, Batman also knows that none of the letters are completed. It's explained that Joe Chill dropped out of school when he was 13. He was doing his best in classes here, but he has learning disabilities which slowed him down. But he apparently was a changed man. And as Batman goes through the letters, he discovers one that's marked to Batman. It includes a ticket with compliments to the Marco Zorro at the Monarch Theater. And so Batman, Red Hood, and Batgirl go to the Monarch. They each enter. When Batman enters the theater itself, the lights go on, and explains the show is about to begin. He's a film reel of himself questioning Joe Chill, asking Chill why he really killed Thomas and Martha Wayne. But Batgirl and Red Hood are both beset upon by a bunch of Jokerized hench people in usher uniforms. And the criminal explains that yes, the other two are present. Then he thought about them for the new Joker. The boy lacks sophistication, while the cripple, the girl, has too much heart. So he picked the killer, Joe Chill. But Chill explains that he knew who the Waynes were when he saw them coming down the alley. And he hated them for what they had. Because they had everything. And then someone starts killing the goons fighting Batgirl. Turns out to be the surviving Joker. But it turns out that what the comedian wants is to turn Joe Chill into the Joker who matters. But in the film interrogation, Chill explains that he figured there were people like him because of people like the Waynes. He was angry, bitter, lost, and he thought he'd take whatever they had on him. He didn't see Bruce with him until it was too late. The criminal tosses a lit Zippo into the vat of Joker toxins, causing it to explode. And the criminal fights Batman while the comedian fights Batgirl and Red Hood and manages to escape. Batman saves Joe Chill, gets him out of the building. And outside, Chill looks at Batman and says he knows who he is. We talk about him on Blackgate. Batman, and he knows that Batman knows what he did here, and he asks if Batman's going to kill him. And he says he deserves it, and he's truly sorry. Then part of the building begins to fall, and Batman pushes him out of the way, and Chill thanks him. And then the criminal arrives, still with his with the explosives he has strapped to his chest, ready to go, and then he's shot through the head by the comedian, who gives himself up. Red Hood tries to tries to talk to Barbara about the possibility of the two of them, but she tries to let him down, and he leaves. Gordon talks to her, asking if she's okay, and he knows facing the Joker can't be easy for her. He's kept his mouth shut about it, but he does have to say something. Batgirl has his support as much as Batman does, but Red Hood is someone that she should be involved with. And she gets on her motorcycle and heads out and says to him, "What I do with him isn't your business, Dad." Riding off into the night. I think the implication there is that she basically just outed herself to her father. But yeah. in the as it concludes, the Joker and Batman, well, the Joker talks and Batman listens. Joker explaining he knows who Batman is, but he would never let anyone know. Where's the fun in letting everyone know? And the remaining Joker simply says that, or when he's asked what he wants, he says, "What do I want? Certainly not what the others wanted." So in the clown that Jason killed, all he wanted to do was laugh at the suffering of others, which is so common. The criminal was delusional. His whole idea of creating a better Joker, that was lunacy. A defined Joker with a name and an identity ruins the entire definition. With the comedian saying, "That's why I regret making him." Or does he regret making me? Batman asks what the punchline is, however, and Joker simply says, "This isn't a joke, Batman. There's no final twist. Not until I decide to put my hand on the knife in your heart. The criminal was wrong. I am chaos. I am the devil. I am nothing to you and everything. It isn't the Joker that is broken. It was the Batman. Broken by a pain greater than anything I could ever do to you. So I convinced him that Joe Chill would be the perfect brand spanking new Clown Prince of Crime. The man who sent Gotham to hell. He bought it. And I let it all play out just like I knew it would. You saved the man who killed Thomas and Martha Wayne, who sent Gotham and you spiraling to the drain of despair. And saw the old, regretful, sad sack chill. You saw the sad, old, regretful, sad sack chills become. You felt his pain and it gave relief to yours. I healed your greatest wound. So now I can be your greatest pain." And it ends with him saying, claiming he'll cut him, he'll hurt him, he'll keep twisting the knife until the day they both die together. Later on, Bruce goes to see Joe Chill in the hospital. As Bruce Wayne, he goes to see Joe Chill in the hospital. Presumably, allowing Chill to make amends as he dies. I'm also guessing that his grave is set up and paid for by Bruce. The issue ends somewhere in Alaska. Well, largely. We also get a few other things going on in Gotham. Jason has left a note for Barbara. He wants to change, and he wants her help in changing. And he thinks that the two of them stand a chance together, and that if giving up Red Hood is what it takes to be with her, he can be something else, or hell, he can just be Jason. He just wants the chance to prove that he can be better. And he'll devote his life to making her proud and happy and loved. And if she doesn't think he's worth the chance, if it was all just her caught up in everything, throw the letter away. She'll never mention it. He'll even understand. As he actually walks away after taping the letter to her door, it falls off the door and is swept away by one of the janitors in Barbara's building. But the end. Oh. First off, no one ever, and I mean ever, tell Alan Moore about this because he'll be pissed. Or do and videotape his reaction because it'd be fun to watch too. Turns out, Batman lied to Barbara and Jason. He does know who the Joker is. He is, in fact, Joseph Kerr, a former stand-up comic who needed money and signed up to be the leader once of the Red Hood gang. Turns out, Joe was abusive to his pregnant wife. Not like, not to the point of physical abuse, but at least not yet. But it's kind of implied that it was probably going that direction. Apparently, though, Batman knew Joker's name 1 week after they first met. But the GCPD helped and presumably Bruce helped Kerr's pregnant wife leave, relocating them to Alaska. And so Kerr was then told that, oh yeah, your wife had an accident this morning, apparently testing a baby bottle heater. There was an electrical short, and she died. I'm sorry. But Bruce states that no one can ever know the Joker's name, because if the world knows it, his family will never be left alone. The press will find them. The Joker will find them. So yes, he does know the Joker's name, but his name isn't what's important. It never has been. And that is where the issue and the story ends. Not bad. I don't know. I guess I was expecting more. Maybe something a bit more a bit up on the crazier side of things. I mean, it was the whole thing being, spitting out of an arc in like one of the crazier New 52 Justice League stories. You kind of figure there's gonna be something crazy about it, not just the Joker made the old school Joker made 2 more Jokers and each one is different, but he sees them both as flawed, so he wants to make a perfect Joker. It's not bad, it's just not great. Honestly, it's well told though, well drawn. So, it'd probably still, end up in my top 10 comics of the year list. Anywho, that's it for this week. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off, saying live long and rock hard.